Hey guys, I just want to talk in these kind of vlog type videos to kind of explain, um, and I know these kind of videos aren't for everyone, just listening to a voice, but, first thing I want to, I feel like you guys deserve a, explanation why I didn't finish the last project with all the songs from 2025, and saying it straightforward, I was no longer enjoying it, and that's something I've been learning about myself in this past month, is I don't think I was ever ran on discipline, motivation, and I think the only reason I have ever kept any passions alive or kept things in my life for a very long time is because it's either ran on love, passion, or true confidence and belief and faith that it'll turn out, or just I don't know. I never ran on motivation or discipline, because I guess I've been finding out that I can't continue to run on discipline if I don't see a reasoning behind it. You know what I mean? And I can't run on motivation because, well, what I said about motivation is still true. It's just short term. It's just a spark to the fumes, and it'll burn. And once it's out, then it's out. I've always been able to run, or the things like music, or the things that I still hold true love for, is it's just been through love and passion. If I force myself to do more than I'm comfortable with, I will start to resent it, you know what I mean? And I was doing that with music. I don't hate music, obviously, but if I'm doing more than I'm capable of at a time, or I feel like I'm doing more than I'm supposed to, aka feeling like I need to be disciplined more and stick with it, then I will start to fight myself into getting things done. So what I've come to find about myself is just to work casually. There's a whole lot of reasoning and backstory about this. The best way I can explain it, or like how I live life in general, is it goes back to my roots and how I was raised, the things I wasn't able to receive as a kid, and I think, because I always wanted to be, I don't know how to explain this. I always wanted to be that chill person, like that chill parent. And, because, growing up I had strict parents, so it would be normal for me to think that I would want chill parents. And since I didn't get what I thought I should have had, I'm kind of being that thing for myself, kind of being that chill parent for myself, in a sense where I'm not too hard on myself you know, but I'm also not at a point where I'm just gonna do it whenever I want, you know. I do it when it feels right. I do it when it feels comfortable, when I feel comfortable. And I don't know, I guess I run on timing. And I'm just gonna embrace that moving forward. Another thing, my thoughts are going like a million miles an hour right now. I think I need some water. I have a lot on my mind. That video that I posted of the fact that I was, or the update that I was staying up late at night and just walking around the premises of my area. I feel really, really at ease. You know, there's no one around. Survival instincts are proper because I actually have to be aware about any wild animals that could potentially be in the area. Instead for the wrong reasons. You know, but there's like a balance there. I've been locked in my room. I prefer it that way. And my sleep schedule is fucked. By no means, it is fucked. But that's another thing I've also chose not to do is fight my sleep schedule. I have an initial plan to get it back in sync. It's gonna take a couple days, but until then, I'm just gonna ride it out. Just enjoy myself. And I think that's where I'm at. I think I'm at a place where I'm doing just right, you know? I don't care to have much people around. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with myself. Happy for the little responsibilities I have to do with like taking care of Prim, my cat, and leaving it at that. Just really simple, keeping it simple. And patient as well, because I just want this weather to be warm again. But I mean, in the moments of it being cold, I am enjoying it being cold, you know? And like I said, with the reflecting and everything, I've been making discoveries. I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to just keep explaining it and explaining it, but I feel like this may happen to more people than people realize. But going on the topic of disabilities, I don't believe I have what I was diagnosed with. And the thing that I'm having trouble to let go of, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I don't believe I have autism. I don't believe I have it. I was diagnosed when I was 9 years old. And from what I remember on how they tested me for like an hour on math. And that was enough for them to determine, I guess, that I have autism. Now, I don't think I have it because of the time I was diagnosed and the fact that I didn't really know what that meant at the time because I'm 9 years old. And just growing up with this word above my head for everyone to see, I felt like I was living a paradox. I was acting like I had autism because people said I had it. And other reasons I don't believe I have it is because, you know, there's been times where I could socialize so well. Like I was, you know, like I was normal. And that's the thing. That's just the thing that's been wired in my head, is that just because I have this disability, I'm different. And that's so fucked up. And I mean, it's like, if I'm different, what makes you normal, you know? I think people get confused that just because you have quirks of autism doesn't mean you have autism. I definitely can accept that I do have quirks of autism, but I don't believe I have the actual thing. And, you know, it's... it is a sensitive, vulnerable topic for me. The fact that because of one test, one doctor, and one determination, my childhood was kind of fucked up. And my childhood was kind of ruined because of this. I dropped out in 7th grade, didn't even make it one semester in middle/high school. I didn't have any professional help for me to become a decent human being or be taught what that meant. It really started in like in the 1st grade. I switched schools for the first time, and they felt like I was off, whatever that means, and they made me do kindergarten and 1st grade in 1 year, and then the next year they made me do 1st grade and then kept me going as normal, which I don't see the point in why they had to do that. And my other topic that I really hate, that I don't understand, is putting me on medication at such a young age. You know, I think the reason why I hate parents letting their iPads do the parenting for their kids is because I kind of got that same treatment with medication. I was just becoming more tolerable for parents, for the school, and just to be profited off a pharmacy, off a temporary solution. You know? And these are just like serious things that still happen today. And people are getting falsely diagnosed by unprofessional doctors that have certification. Or, you know, they just want you out of the way so they can make money off of you or whatever. It's like, this stuff is actually serious. And I seriously believe that I've been living a paradox of a person with autism when I never had such thing, you know? 'Cause every time it's brought up, I feel like I'm acting. I feel like I'm acting like I have autism, and I don't actually have the same thing, you know? The other thing is I'm fully capable of living on my own. I can take care of myself, and like, what does that mean? I don't know. I'm out of time. I have to make another log, but I've just been really dealing with that. Trying to make peace and trying to live life, and not believe it, not out of denial or insecurity, but, you know, because I've been processing this without, you know, pushing it down or rejecting it. I mean, the other thing is every time I try to accept that I do have it, I cringe up. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's part of my identity. It never was. I can't accept it or something. You know, my other diagnosis I can accept, but I mean, like I said, I'm out of time, so I will probably make a part 2, I don't know. So, continuing on the topic, like I said, I can accept the other diagnosis, because the other diagnosis that I have when I got diagnosed at that time was ADHD. And I can 100% accept that because it's been proven and I can tell that I have it by how people explain what it is and everything. I mean, the things with autism that I can't accept, the things I can't accept with like the quirks and everything is I can't make eye contact with people. But I also feel like if I really tried, I could. And I think maybe it's also just a shy thing. I am a shy person, you know, and I'm just one of those guys that you have to like, I have to ease into you, you know. I can't just directly like you and be comfortable around you. It's just that's not in my nature to just be like that. When I am like talking to people, I can tend to like, you know, fiddle with my fingers and, you know, play with my hair or, you know, rub my shoulders or whatever, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's what I mean by like quirks. But like, I don't think I have the actual thing. And I mean, also those things could be just things of being shy, you know, like I 100% do believe I am a shy person. I also believe that there's times where I'm ambiverted and not completely introverted. I feel like if I'm in a very good state of mind, and like I have to really like be on top of this in order to be like this all the time, but I could 100% be ambiverted, which means I'm not necessarily introverted, but I'm not extroverted either. I'm like right in between. So like I can talk to people if I, you know, if it's necessary or if I feel like it, but I also do prefer to not really talk to people if I don't have to, you know, but if I have to, I can. And I mean, it's just, I think that's the only thing that's really keeping the, like, that diagnosis alive is the fact that I was told growing up that because of this diagnosis, it will always be harder for me to talk to people. And, you know, when you're told that at a young age, and as you grow up, you're a kid, and you're just gonna end up believing it. But, you know, like a year ago, I guess it's almost been a year of me just like really keeping my distance from everything and finding out who I am and discovering what I've discovered now about myself, and ending up in this time of moment where I don't believe I was, you know, what I have, and looking at the past history of me and my past interactions with people and seeing that, you know, there's times where I haven't even been awkward, there's times where I didn't feel uncomfortable, there's times where, you know, my voice is shaking, or I'm not shutting down, or, you know, I just, you know, I feel like I'm in survival mode, like all of this, you know, all of this social anxiety. I think that's the difference, and that's the confusion that people get. Because I can't talk to people, that immediately means I can't I have autism, you know, it's like, it's not fucking true at all, what the fuck, you know? And I mean, that's just the other thing, I was never taught to socialize. They just kept telling me and putting me on medication and never actually getting to the root of the problem. They just kept me temporary all the damn time. And I guess that's why I fell out of like my therapy at 16, because I didn't see the point of going here every for half an hour just to talk about my recaps because they wouldn't make it. We wouldn't talk about anything. You know? We wouldn't get to the root of any problems. I was just always talking about what I did in the past week since I last saw my therapist. Other thing with my therapist that I remember is the fact that they were getting too attached and involved with my everyday life, and that was the other thing that I was like, what the fuck, you know? And that's another reason why I kind of like stopped going. It's because they were getting too attached, breaking the rules basically. And also the main fact that we weren't really talking about anything. We were just recapping what I did. And you know, and then I stopped medication. I stopped my medication at like a little over after I turned 18. And that was a bumpy ride to get off of that, but I eventually got off of it, and I haven't been on any medication in like almost over a year. And I mean, ever since that, I've been pretty okay. I've been fine. In fact, I kind of found myself more and stronger without these things, without the therapist, without the medication. I found that like these things were purposely keeping me weak, so I would need to rely on them. I come to find that I can be my own therapist if I really just sit with myself and learn who I am, because no one knows my problems more than I do. And when it comes to medications are medications, depending on what you're using medication for. If you're using antidepressants or stuff like that, you're pushing the problem away temporarily. If you actually find the root of the problem, like for example, headaches. You don't just get a headache because your brain is like, hey, I feel like being a dick right now, you know? You don't just, it doesn't happen. There's a reason why you have a headache. Are you on the screen too much? Or have you had any water today? You know? And people just pop ibuprofen and go about their day, not fixing the actual problem. You know, this is what I'm talking about, man. And the medication that I was on, I don't know what it was called. It was like Risperidone or something, and it's not even linked with autism. It's linked with people with like schizophrenia or something. But I had this medication to help with my irritability, because apparently I guess they saw me as someone that was hot-tempered all the time, which I mean I guess is true, but I'm not just hot-tempered for no reason. I'm hot-tempered sometimes if I don't get enough sleep. I'm hot-tempered when I can't find a solution to a problem. I'm hot-tempered when something isn't happening the way I thought it should, or, it's just, normal things to be tempered about. But the way I've been able to control my temper more often is to learn, what's the word? Self-restraint. It's to learn self-restraint. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm literally giving myself the help that I should have had growing up as a kid. I never had any of this. It's really hard for me to talk about this thing to other people, because every time I've talked to people or had people that in my corner to talk about it, they never fully understood it, never knew how to help, or just straight up just didn't care. And it's part of my roots and how I've grown up, that why I'm so independent. It's because no one could ever keep their word. No one could ever actually give me the help that I needed, that they were supposed to give. And I guess I'm also really embracing, in this era of time, Nobody is going to save me but me. And I suppose that's what I've been building in myself this past year, is to save myself. Because for the first 18 years of my life, no one was doing it for me when they should have. Because I was underage and a kid. But now that I'm an adult, and I never got that help that I had in school from the 504 plans, from the terrible schools that should still be held accountable, from not just me, but from other words that I've heard in the past from other people. I'm just helping the kid that didn't get help, so I can be who I am now and till death, I guess. I don't know. And I guess, I don't know, I feel like I've also been delayed for who I really am for so long. And I'm really trying to be in that skin permanently. And it's a long process. I've been trying to master myself, not perfect myself, master myself for a year now, and I still have flaws, and I still get, still find it hard to live sometimes, and no one said it was going to be easy, but at least I have the will to do what no one else could, and that's save myself. And I don't really care about wealth. I know it's important for this kind of life, but that's not my main priority. My main priority is me, so I can have the things that I truly want, like maybe a family of my own, independence, stuff like that. And as far as the past go with how unfortunate that had to be, it does suck that the fact that one word did fuck me up a little bit and confuse me, threw me off track. It wasn't all bad. I have to admit that, because I can't delude myself that way. That just because of this one word my entire childhood was ruined. That's not true. It took away a lot of opportunities that a normal kid could have had. I would go on the topic that I have 100% without a doubt been discriminated. And I can say now, it is what it is. But it's that stuff like that, not enough time in sports, not enough time in, not getting enough job opportunities that, a normal person would have had. And it's just stuff like that. So, I'm still processing this, still feeling it, trying to make peace with it. I feel more comfortable trying not to believe I have autism than trying to accept it. I just don't feel like I have it, because every time I try to accept myself with that this is who I am and this is what I have, my body says you're wrong. They're wrong. You never had it. This is not you. And maybe it's like I've been put under this label to be stopped. I don't know. That's more of a victim mentality, though. I think I'm done here. Hope you guys are doing okay in this new year. I'm working on music. I'm back at it. Yeah. Just taking it easy. Taking it slow. Really reflecting. Building. And guess I'll talk to you guys later.